Well, it's sharing on mine anyway.
Okay.
Let's see if I can share it on yours.
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay.
You got it? Okay.
I'm ready to
Cool.
go, gentlemen.
Then here we go. Thanks, Facebook friends, for putting up with this.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, computer. Here we go. Oh, nope. I didn't mean to start you over, Beatles. Welcome to the Health Detective Podcast with Roberto Parker. Join strength and conditioning expert Roberto Parker as he shares his over 35 years of experience in training athletes and helping people achieve their fitness goals. Now here's your moderator, Chris Whiting, with Coach Roberto.
Hey, happy Monday, everybody. It's an every other Monday, so of course that means you're watching live the Health Detective Podcast with Coach Roberto Parker. Welcome, Roberto. How are you?
What's going on, guys? Spring is in the air. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yesterday was so beautiful. And I'm not going to lie. I got outside a little bit today, took a little bit of a walk, and so gorgeous, which normally you need that, right? Winter comes, it's terrible, but this year especially, it just seems extra important after all the COVID stuff and quarantining and all of that, you know?
Right. Yep. Spring is in the air. I'm feeling
today,
spring is in the air. I'm feeling love, Chris.
Uh-oh, watch out.
Oh, yes. Hey, you are loved, my friend. I just want you to know that. So I saw a headline today, and it reminded me of what we were going to talk about a little bit, but just a little bit. I'm sure we're going to vary just a bit from this, but the article said that for the past several years, beer sales had declined until the pandemic started, and beer sales have gone way up, which tells me there are a lot of people putting things in their body that might not be the healthiest for them right now.
Yeah.
And
well, they're probably depressed.
Well, they probably are. So drinking or depression probably helps, right?
Yeah.
But tonight we're going to talk about detoxing, right? Getting some of those bad things out of your system that may be in there due to environment or just poor choices or whatever else, right?
Right. Yeah, detoxing is one of the most important things you can do. In fact, if your body is not self-detoxing itself, you're not going to make very good gains in whatever you're doing, whether it's for an athletic event, whether it's just for general health, whether you're getting over disease, a sickness. I mean, with this coronavirus thing, how important is it to detox? Extremely important, because detox, well, when you're toxic, I should say, you typically have a lot more inflammation in your body, which causes a lot of things like, well, coronavirus, sinus issues, bacterial issues, inflammation of your joints, even inflammation of the brain, inflammation of various parts of the body. And that usually leads to something deleterious down the road.
Whoa, that's a big word.
Yep. So you got to really, detoxing is important. And the main area of your body that should be detoxing is your lymphatic system. That stuff should be getting out of you, either via your kidneys, your digestive system, your skin, through sweating, urination, elimination. That stuff should be exiting your body on a regular basis. If it is not exiting your body on a regular basis, you're building up a toxic waste dump, which can cause a lot of bad issues. Even people that are tend to be overweight. I know I kind of always harp back to that, and sometimes people think I'm trying to fat shame, but I'm not. But if you're overweight, carrying a lot of extra weight, your body probably is not detoxing like it should, because a lot of toxins store themselves within fatty tissues of the body.
Oh, wow.
So let me finish this thought. So typically when
Sure.
a person who is really fat starts losing a lot of weight too quickly, they get really sick because all those toxins are being released from the fat, getting into your blood, into other parts of the body that can cause other issues. So if you're losing weight too quickly, that is.
So I remember a few years ago, I don't even know if it's still on the air, but you remember the show The Biggest Loser?
I've never watched that show, but I heard a lot about it. I'm not a big fan of it from what I hear of it, because to me, it's just a big sham, to be honest with you. But I mean, a lot of those people gain the weight right back.
Yeah. And I had read that there were health experts that were concerned with how fast they had them losing weight.
Yeah.
That maybe that wasn't the healthiest way to go about it.
Nope.
I'm curious. So detox, get rid of toxins. Is it that simple? Is that what you mean when you say detox?
Well, as I said, our bodies, we've talked about this, we've been doing this now for 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
The body has a way of healing and repairing itself naturally. Okay. I could go in a lot of different directions with this. That is why I personally believe and professionally believe that a lot of this stuff surrounding the COVID-19 is bullshit.
Oh, wow.
Okay? We need to get our immune system stronger. That's the best mask you can have. That's the best vaccine you can have. Get your damn immune system stronger. There's no period, there's no comma, period. That's the bottom line. Now, that's easier said than done for some people.
Okay.
Because via their lifestyle, we as Americans, we're very spoiled. We tend to put stuff in our bodies and on our bodies. Now, 2 weeks ago, we talked about beauty products. We put stuff in our bodies and on our bodies that are highly industrialized products, processed. And guess what? When we're not active enough, that stuff stores up in us and it creates toxicity in our bodies. Now, if you're active on a regular basis, if you're eating the right type of foods on a regular basis, if you're sweating, if you're pooping, if you're urinating, you are detoxing.
Aha.
Okay.
Yeah,
now,
I do all those things.
If you're not doing those things on a regular basis, you're not detoxing or properly. Now, once again, you got to put the right food in your system, because you're detoxing. That does not give you a license to go back and eat like crap again. So you have to put the right stuff in your system in order for your cells to grow, because this comes down to the cellular level of our bodies. Our bodies are a community of cells, viruses, and bacteria. And those cells, viruses, and bacteria all communicate with each other. And when that communication is broken, that's when disease creeps in. That's when illnesses creep in. Okay? We have trillions and trillions of bacteria in us. We have 45% of our bodies are viruses.
No way.
And those things, and we have a ton of cells. Now, when those things aren't communicating like they should, that's when we become toxic, and that's when we become sick, we become injured, we get inflammation, we feel like crap, we don't sleep very well. All that stuff plays a role.
Wow. Did you say 45% of our body is viruses?
Viral, which is viruses, viral. Yes, we have viruses on our skin.
Wow.
We breathe in viruses every day. 45% of our DNA
I had
is
no idea.
45% of our DNA is viral. Yes.
Holy cow.
Yes.
So people try to go viral on social media all the time, but you're telling me we're all viral.
We're all viral, Chris. In fact, we need viruses. We need viruses to survive. We need that. If we don't have viruses and bacteria, we would die. Every day you wake up, walk out the door, get out of bed, you're breathing in something that's a virus. There's viruses on your skin. I mean, we need that stuff to survive. There's good and there's bad viruses. There's good and there's bad bacteria. There's good and there's bad cells. when the cells are dying off in your body, because we don't have the same skin we had 2 months ago, because cells are always turning over. When the cells are not turning over like they should, our bodies become more toxic.
Oh, wow.
Thus the term cytokines, because cyto is cell. So when those cytos become toxic, they become cytokines, and they become toxic in our bodies. So we're not turning over cells like we should. That's why we need to be active. That's why we need to eat the right type of food. Now, I want to go into some area because we don't have a lot of time here. Let's talk about nutrition. Let's talk about nutrition and how that can be used to detox the body. There's some things you need to avoid, some things you need to take in. Let's talk about avoid first. Processed junk. I just talked about that, correct?
You did.
Processed foods.
Yeah.
If it's made by human beings and you can't read the label and understand it, you should not eat it consistently. Alcohol. Now, alcohol occasionally really is not that bad for you, especially wine or something. But alcohol drunk on a regular basis, every day, you gotta have a nightcap, a couple of drinks before you go to bed. That's not good. If you got to drink it to get up in the morning, that's not good. If you want to have an occasional glass of wine or a beer, something like that, that's okay. But you got to be really careful, because alcohol can screw up the detox process of the body.
Oh,
Okay?
wow.
Now, another one, sugar. That's a big one, especially processed sugar, but really sugar in itself, because fruit has sugar in it. So if you're not exercising, even if you're eating the fruit, if you're a fruitarian, if you're not exercising, there's only so much fruit your body can process. So that's where the liver comes in, because when your body's not detoxing like it should, you're overloading the liver, and the liver is the cleanser of our body. It is the filter. So even if you're eating good, healthy foods, but you're not active enough, your body can still become toxic, because you're not moving around, you're not getting circulation. Okay.
Wow.
So that's important. So no matter what you're eating, you still got to be active. I didn't say exercise necessarily, did I? I said activity. Now, exercise does.
We've talked about that. Yeah.
Right. Exercise does play a role. I believe that everybody should do some form of exercise, but all things being equal, activity is always more important than exercise. Now, there's a book, I mentioned this before on these podcasts, called The Blue Zones. And it's about 4 or 5 areas around the world where people live the longest qualitative lives. Costa Rica, there's some island in Japan, near Japan, Loma Linda, California, the Seventh-day Adventist colony, I believe it is, somewhere in the Swiss Alps. But there's a group of people there, and I don't know, people have gone there and just done experiments on the people, done research. And what they found is these people live longer, qualitative lives. Their longevity is longer than the average person, and their health is better than the average person. Now, here's the thing. These people eat primarily fruits, vegetables, and wild game.
Oh, wow.
Okay? They don't exercise a lot. They're not out pumping iron. They're not out doing, marathons, but they're extremely active. They build their own homes. They work in the gardens, work in the fields, kind of like the Amish. They do a lot. They do a lot of tough work just to live every day.
So you said they fruits, vegetables, wild game, not a lot of carbs. I'm taking it then.
Well, fruits and vegetables are carbs, but it's, more natural carbs.
Yeah. But not your breads, nothing processed, things like that.
Some of them probably do whole grain breads and that kind of thing, like nature grain type of breads, but not a lot of bread. It's mainly just wild stuff from the wild. Now, they probably have big family feasts. They may slaughter a hog or something like that, cook in the stove or something like that, I guess. But it's nothing real. They're not primitive, but they're not highly industrialized either. Okay. You there?
So yeah, I'm here. It broke up
Okay.
just a little bit there.
Okay.
So if you're somebody who has made, let's say over the past year, there's been a pandemic, you're at home, your life's kind of thrown into chaos. You've made some poor choices with either food or alcohol. Are you saying just, stop putting more of that into your body and get
Yes.
active, and that will get the detox process going?
Well, there's other things you need to do
Okay.
besides that too.
Gotcha.
I mean, it
Gotcha.
depends on each person is going to be a little bit different. But yes, that's a darn good start, is cut down the alcohol, eliminate the processed foods, get more active. Now, it's hard to sweat in the wintertime outdoors. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we were, below 0, 20 below here, okay? It's kind of hard to go
Yeah.
outside and really enjoy that. But you do the best you can, with what you have.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Go to a local
Yep.
mall and walk around the mall or something. I mean, fine. You gotta
Mhm.
get a little bit creative more in the wintertime. That's what we have to do here in the
Sure.
Midwest. I mean, because when it's 20 below outside, who the hell wants to go outside, right? So,
Right.
so you got to get a little bit more creative, and that's probably also when you got to really be more conscientious about what you're putting in your body. Now, that's
Yeah.
hard too, because when people sit around all day, they tend to want to eat.
Yeah, it's fun.
They get
Makes you feel
bored.
good.
Yeah, they get, because it's comfort food. But that's the
Right.
time. That's the time when you really need to be even more conscientious about your eating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I want to mention a couple more things.
Yeah.
Antioxidants. Now, antioxidants are a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables. Those are good ways of detoxing the body. Now, I want to get into some other things too. Cryotherapy. Now, you and I have talked about this before.
Yeah, sure have.
Cryotherapy and cold water dips. Why are those so important? Because what they have found is that those areas help to reduce inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Inflammation
Mm-hmm.
is
And we've
the
talked
mother.
a lot about inflammation.
Inflammation is the mother of all disease.
Wow.
Okay. When you dip in cold water or get one of those, what do you call it? Hyperbaric. I think it's hyperbaric. Yeah. Hyperbaric chambers where you breathe in more oxygen than your lungs can really manufacture. That helps to reduce the bad bacteria in the system. It helps to eliminate a lot of inflammation. So now here's another thing. If you don't like cold water, you can even do it in your shower, like a warm contrast. You can go warm for about, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds. And you go cold for 15, 20 seconds. So you do more of a contrast.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to just dip your whole body in a tub of cold water, take a cold shower. Okay. Warm, cold.
Which I have done. That is hard to do.
Yeah, I know it is. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Contrast, warm, cold, warm, cold. And what that does, that helps your lymphatic system. It helps your heart rate. It helps the mitochondria, the cells of the body. It actually, by doing cold water therapy, if you're trying to lose weight, it'll help expedite that process as well. Because now when you dip yourself in cold water, guess what that does to your metabolism?
Makes it go up.
Go up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you're shocking the system. You're making the heart rate beat faster. When the heart rate beats faster, your metabolic processes are going up. Now, if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure, I don't recommend you doing that because that could be a little dangerous. Okay. But if you're a healthy individual,
maybe too much of a shock.
Yeah, too much of a shock. So if you're healthy, a fairly healthy person without any contradictions like that, then by all means, cryotherapy, look into that. Hyperbaric chamber breathing, contrast hot, cold, dip yourself in cold water in a tub. So those are all good things to reduce inflammation and to help the lymphatic process, help reduce the inflammation process, which really is a form of detoxing the body.
It's funny. I mentioned this to you, and I'll mention it for the folks who are on the show. If you have Netflix, Gwyneth Paltrow has a docu-series with her Goop Lab people. And one of the episodes, they talk to this guy. His name is Hoff something, but it's the Hoff method of breathing. And his whole thing is to do these deep, quick breaths and kind of over oxygenate and then get in something very cold. Like he's diving into water that's 38 degrees.
Yeah.
But he says it keeps the toxicity down. They've even done experiments on him where they've injected him with like E. coli and stuff, and he doesn't get sick from it. And he says it's because of the breathing and the cold that he does all the time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we could get most people to do that, but
Right. Yes.
that might be a little bit beyond the level of intensity for some people that they want to do above their pay grade, but that's certainly one way to do it. So what you can do is gradually work your way up to something like that. It's like getting back to the hot cold contrast in the shower. I mean, I don't think you're probably going to go a minute on, a minute off the first time you do it. You might work your way up to it. Like I said, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. It's kind of like
Wow.
fasting. Now, fasting is another way, getting back to the nutrition side. Fasting is another way to detox. Because when you're fasting, you're giving your body a time to realign itself, to reset itself. And fasting also helps to elevate growth hormone, obviously. So it helps to reset your metabolism.
Wow. Hey, can I ask you something about the lymphatic system?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you've mentioned it a couple of times. I don't know much about it. I do remember reading several years ago that unlike our, vascular system, where you have a heart that pumps the blood through, the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. So there's things I don't know. I'm asking, are there things you know of that you can do to make sure that your lymphatic system is processing like it should?
Exercise.
Okay.
Anything where you're shocking the body, like jumping or sprinting, will help to stimulate the lymphatic system. By the way, getting on a rebounder mini tramp is one of the best ways to stimulate the lymphatic system. Yes.
Those jumping
rope
in the 70s, round.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Jumping rope. Well, I have a mini tramp in my gym. Jumping rope is another way because you're shocking the system. You're constantly jumping.
Wow. Okay. That's fascinating. So you've got to move to keep that lymphatic system moving and healthy.
Absolutely. The lymphatic system will not function well if you're sitting on your ass. You could eat all the healthy foods you want to. You can take all the supplements you want to. If you're sitting on your ass, the lymphatic system will not function properly. No.
Okay. There you go. You heard it here, folks. If you're sitting on your ass, the lymphatic system won't pass. I don't know. I was trying to think of something clever. It didn't work, but the intent was there.
Yes, Chris.
Wow. Okay.
It's consistent.
Yes. And it's interesting how much of this ties back, because we've talked about inflammation a lot on the podcast. And that's apparently a big part of the toxicity. We've obviously talked about nutrition and exercise, and the importance of that. So it's funny, man. It's these basic things that we keep coming back to that apparently make all the difference.
Simple, but yet complex. Why? Because it's hard for the average person to do it, because it means getting out of your comfort zone. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes, like I said, be active, put in good organic foods, ancestral type of foods, exercise. Don't over-exercise, but exercise at least 2, maybe 3 times a week at about 30 to 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Get plenty of sleep, fast occasionally, once a week, once a month,
Mm-hmm.
and fresh air, sunshine, and you're golden.
That's
That's
awesome.
it. I mean, I
Now,
know
and
it
let me,
sounds simple. It sounds simple, doesn't it, Chris? But notice
oh,
I don't talk about taking a lot of supplements. I don't talk about buying a bunch of
yeah,
expensive equipment, a bunch of expensive this or that. It's all about how you manage your time and your priorities.
yeah.
That's it.
I can say in the years that I've worked with you, the only supplements that I've heard you mention repeatedly to take are D3 with K2. Other than that, I don't really hear you talk about much in the way of supplements.
Now,
Um,
if a person has some individual specific type of needs, I might. For example, um, a person might need to take some vitamin C if they have a cold or something, or if you're
mhm.
having issues with not enough, if you just came from the doctor, let's say the dentist, and they put you on some antibiotics. And I'm not saying I'm opposed to that necessarily, because if you just get your tooth pulled, you might need to get on some antibiotic for at least a day or two. But now go to the store or get some good probiotics. And that's another thing I forgot to mention. There's also prebiotics. Prebiotics will also help set the tone for detoxification. Prebiotics are foods like garlic, onions, asparagus. Those are called prebiotics. Those are more fibrous type of foods that will help to feed the bacteria in your system.
So what is the
Now,
difference between pre and probiotic?
prebiotics will help to feed the bacteria. Probiotics,
Okay.
probiotics are things you can purchase like supplements to help increase the number of bacteria. You follow me?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
So
Yeah.
when you're taking in prebiotics, that will help to strengthen the bacteria in your system that's already there, or you may have
Mm-hmm.
taken in via taking probiotics.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, when your body is balanced in the bacterial cellular level, your body's going to detox better via digestion. You're going to have better poops. Okay. And
Oh, nice.
when you're pooping good, that's just one area now. That'll help to clean the body out. When you're peeing, when you're sweating,
Mm-hmm.
those are the best ways to do it. So there's about 3 or 4 different ways your body can help to detox. So sweating, peeing,
Yeah.
pooping. I guess that's probably it. Yeah.
Okay. Hey,
Now,
that's cool.
it's
I
funny.
mean, you know.
It's funny. Back in the medieval days, you know what they did to help fight illnesses? When a person was on their deathbed, they would bleed them. They'd cut them and try to bleed them. You ever seen that?
I've heard of that. Yeah. What they
Yeah.
thought the blood was toxic or something?
Yeah. Yep. And they would sometimes, in fact, I think that's how George Washington died. He was on his
Wow.
deathbed,
Oh
and
my gosh.
the doctors cut him several times trying to bleed the toxins or the whatever out of his body, and he bled to death. I believe that's how he died. Our first
Is
president.
there any modern science behind that
Oh, of
now,
course
or
not.
is that
It was
okay?
ridiculous.
Okay.
Now they
Yeah.
also would use leeches. They put leeches in your body.
Mhm.
They will help to suck whatever out of your body. Well, that didn't work too well either,
Mhm.
obviously.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, I meant to ask you, you said earlier, eat a lot of ancestral foods. Is that just like natural stuff that you get? Like, what is an ancestral food?
Ancestral, wild game, eggs,
Okay.
fish,
Hmm.
nuts that are unprocessed, fruits, berries that maybe you pick yourself that have
Hmm.
not been processed or via radiation or touch hands a lot. So, you know, the wilder, the better. Now, sometimes it's hard for us to do that.
Mhm.
I remember when I was a kid, my parents used to go out in the springtime and pick berries all the time, come back and, you know, they'd make like pies with it and stuff like that, but they go out and among the thorns and the weeds and pick berries, wild
Mhm.
berries. And they'd come back and my mom would make rhubarb pie or strawberry shortcake or something like that, or blueberry pie. But you know, they would pick all the berries wild. Same with nuts, I guess. I mean, I don't think we can grow any nuts or maybe peanuts around here, but you know, at least try to get nuts that are more organic, that are just raw.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now,
Yep.
I don't want to go too deep into the weeds here, but everything I just mentioned can change relative to your body type. Some people are sensitive to certain type of nuts. Some people are sensitive to eggs. Some people are sensitive to soy products. Some people are sensitive to milk products. So you might think those are all natural things to eat, but there are certain people, because of their blood type and because of maybe some hereditary things going on in their body, they might have a sensitivity to lactose, to eggs, to different types of foods. So everything I just said is thrown out the window if you have some specific allergies or sensitivities.
Yeah. I know my wife sometimes has an aversion to D's nuts, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh my.
Oh,
Anyway,
Talk about toxic.
anywho. So basically, like you said, it's simple. It's quit putting the crap in your body.
right.
Instead, put the healthy ancestral type foods in your body. And
Yes.
then also exercise, and even more important than exercise, just be active, taking walks or something, moving.
Right. And if you
every
want to go
day.
beyond that, cryotherapy, cold water immersions, hyperbaric chamber. Now, some of that stuff's going to cost you a little bit of money, but you know you can do contrast showers while you're taking a shower, of course. But if you're going to do cryotherapy, that's going to cost you a little bit of money, or hyperbaric oxygen therapy, that's going to cost you a little bit of money. So it depends how far you want to go with it.
Right. Gotcha. Gotcha.
I know
Gotcha.
that. Okay,
And if
now when I know that athletes do a lot of the cryo and do a lot of the hyperbaric. In fact, my son, Wyatt, when he was playing at Fort Hays, there's someplace there in Hays, Kansas, he would go once a week and did the cryotherapy. And he said it helped him a lot in his muscle recovery.
Mhm.
Okay, because of what that does, that speeds up the healing process, where now your body's not as sore, you're not as inflamed, and it got him ready for the next game on Saturday.
Well, in every movie you see, and I've only seen it in movies because I'm not an athlete, but if they're in a locker room after a game, there are guys in the tubs with
Yeah,
ice and water
absolutely.
every
Yep.
time.
And that's helping to reduce systemic inflammation throughout your body.
Mhm. No, totally makes sense. Um, if somebody wants help with this, I know obviously you've got the knowledge, but you can help with the nutrition, you can help with the what to avoid, you can help with the activity, with the exercise. You can do any or all of that for folks, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they don't have to necessarily be here in the Kansas City area. You can do it online as well.
You can do it virtually. We can do a lot of things over the internet. Yes.
Nice. So how do they get in touch with you if they're interested in nutritional counseling or detoxing or just exercising and getting more active?
816-405-7703 is my phone number. And my email is rwpsports@yahoo.com. I'm also on Facebook.
Nice.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, which I never use really, but those are the best ways to get a hold of me.
Nice. Okay. Any last thoughts on detoxing before we wrap up here tonight?
Well, you know, the best thing is, look, fresh air, sunshine, plenty of good sleep, ancestral way of eating, organic foods as much as possible, be active, exercise.
All right.
That's it,
Like-
man. I mean, hey, that is the best prescription I can give you for life, for recovery, for detoxification, for a better sex life, Chris.
Hey, all right. I'm listening. I'm all
Okay.
ears.
There you go.
Mhm.
All right. Hopefully Jane is too.
Hey, well, she's going to hear it. Trust me. Yeah. So give them your phone number one more time.
816-405-7703. Email is rwpsports@yahoo.com.
All right. Hey, Roberto, thank you. As always, it's enlightening. It's illuminating. I learned so much. And, if I can just do one thing from each one of these podcasts that you suggest, I'm going to be in pretty good shape. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the Health Detective Podcast. We will talk to you next time in a couple of weeks here on the Health Detective Podcast with Coach Roberto.
Take care. God bless, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Health Detective Podcast with Roberto Parker. You can contact Roberto at 816-405-7703 or by email at rwpsports@yahoo.com with any comment or question you may have. Join us next time for the Health Detective Podcast with Roberto Parker. The Health Detective Podcast with Roberto Parker has been a KCTK production, produced by Roberto Parker, Chris Whiting, and Paul Lavoda. All rights reserved. For more information and content, email us at kctkradio@gmail.com.